Hi all. Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Well, we're going to start off this morning with the news that I have received my very first sponsor. So watch this. Let's talk about some online security, shall we? You guys all know who follow my channel that I was doxxed online. You know that my name, age, profession, location, and even my special needs son autism diagnosis was put out on the web. We know who did that, but it could have been prevented. So simple, just by using a VPN. And the VPN provider that I use is Atlas VPN. So what is a VPN? Well, that's simple. It's an encrypted tunnel that nobody can see into, including hackers, the government, and even your internet service provider. This makes sure that your online activity remains private and secure and free from outside interference. Atlas shields your identity from websites, apps, and services that want to track you. While some companies limit the amount of devices you can use, Atlas VPN allows you to use it on unlimited devices. It's also good for streaming. Let's say you're on Netflix in the United States, but there's a show that you really want to watch that's on Netflix in Europe. Just go onto your VPN, change your location, and you can watch TV in other areas that normally wouldn't be available to you. Well, right now, Atlas is offering a special summer deal. It's $1.83 a month with 3 months extra for free. So you can protect your privacy and get many benefits of the Atlas VPN for this ridiculously low price. And they're going to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. And you can get this deal by clicking the link in the video description below. But be fast, it's a limited time offer. So don't wait, you guys. Click the link and get secure with Atlas VPN. Super important, you guys. Super important. All right. So we have a lot to cover today. So let's just get in there and get busy, shall we? Let's go. Believe it or not, we're just going to start off with Jeremy Clarkson. You know, he wanted to make his parking area at his farm bigger. People there didn't want it bigger. He fought. He won. Good for him. All right, moving on. Next up, we want to wish Prince Edward and Sophie a happy 24th wedding anniversary. You got to think, Charles's first marriage, not a happy one. Andrew's marriage, not a happy one. Anne got married, that ended up in divorce. She's now remarried. It would seem that Edward is the only one who's been able to maintain, well, okay, I'll take that back. Charles and Camilla now, but you know. Happy anniversary, you guys. Next up, members of the Turks and Caicos Islands in the uniformed forces had their own celebration for the king's official birthday. They did a parade and a ceremony. They had the Turks and Caicos Regiment, cadets, brownies, scouts, students in school uniforms, correctional officers. I think that's lovely. Next up, we are turning our attention to Prince Michael of Kent and his wife. They went out after Trooping the Colour to a very renowned London club in Mayfair called Lulu's Club. Apparently, it's very exclusive and difficult to get into. Now, because they're cousins of the monarch, they usually go on the balcony, for Trooping the Colour. But because of Charles' slimmed down monarchy, they didn't go this year. And a lot of royal fans were upset because there were just a few people on the balcony. Let's see what happens. All right, next up. Next up, it's Children's Hospice Week. And so Catherine, who we know is patron of the East Anglia's Children's Hospice, wrote a lovely letter and said that the people who care for seriously ill children are a shining light to families in their darkest times. I love that. All right, we're moving on to Royal Ascot. This is going to be the first year that the king is going there as monarch. And they're saying that, Queen Elizabeth II was so committed. She was such a racing fan. We know how much she loved the horses and the whole thing. And it was all about her. And they're saying that the king needs a winner so that he can show, and I'm quoting right from the article, the sort of emotion we witnessed from his mother in 2013. And they're thinking that he is genuinely horsey like his mother, and it's going to be fine. Okay. All right, we are moving on now to the Order of the Garter. Talk about historic. So first off, we saw Catherine arrive in a car with Sophie looking absolutely gorgeous, and the paper said she gave a nod to Diana with her outfit, and actually she did. I'm not going to show Diana, but okay. I love that hat. I just have to put it out there, okay? Also seen arriving by car was the Duke of Kent. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is, 700 years ago, Edward III heard all the tales about King Arthur and the Round Table and all of that, and he's the one who founded the Order of the Garter. So the order today has the king, who is the sovereign of the Garter. You have Edward and William and Anne, several members of the royal family, and you have a maximum of 24 knights that are personally chosen by the king, and those are to honor people who have held public office or contributed to national life or served the sovereign personally. Now, interestingly enough, the royal family do not count into the 24. Well, I mean, there's a lot of the royal family in there. So yeah, they don't count into the 24. So to start with, at 2:45, they have a grand procession that made its way from the chapel, from the castle quadrangle. It went to the chapel. I apologize. Now, in the beginning is the governor of Windsor Castle and the military knights of Windsor. Then you have heralds and the knights of the order themselves. And there were 2,900 members of the public present to watch this procession. Now you see Charles and Camilla walking through with their, remember Camilla was brought in last year. I actually did a video on that and showed you where she was inducted into the Order of the Garter. Next up, after they walked in the procession, you saw Anne, the Duke of Gloucester, you saw Prince William, you saw Edward. They were all walking together. I do not believe the Duke of Kent walked per se. I think physically he probably couldn't do that. Anyway, they're headed towards St. George's Chapel. Now, there were 2 new appointments. I'm assuming, I don't know what happened to the other 2 people. Anyway, what happens is Catherine and Sophie and the Duchess of Gloucester, that's her on the left in the gray satin with the pillbox hat, looking all lovely. They're there to watch them go by. Look at everybody's faces as they see their husbands walk by. I mean, just lovely, the smiles that they're giving them. And of course, when the king went by, Catherine had the perfect curtsy, as usual. I mean, it's pretty obvious that she and Sophie were having a really good time chatting and laughing and enjoying themselves. But just the looks on their faces as they're watching their husbands walk by, I mean, you can just see it. It's so nice to watch. They have an actual real relationship. I love it. So real quickly, I want to point out, just because it's, if you look to the left at Catherine's hat, the detailing, it's just phenomenal. And the fact that they were able to keep those hats on, because apparently it was quite windy that day, but the detailing on that hat, her hair, I can't even imagine. I'm sure she must have a hairdresser, because look at the braiding on that hair. All right, let's look at Sophie really quickly. Sophie was wearing an Amelia Wickstead dress that was 1,628 pounds. And of course, we had the silver earrings, the gold bracelets, the white shoes. She just looked lovely. Thank you to Remoulade Sauce for the information on her outfit. And I've said it before, look at her hair. It's amazing. I've said it before, though. I'm so glad that she's finally getting the recognition that I feel she should have received all along. Anyway, Camilla and Charles start coming out. They walk down after the service. They get to the bottom of the stairs. And then you see, here comes Catherine down the stairs. And she meets up with William. Look at that face. Look at the love. Love it. You could just bask in that. Anyway, they will all walk down to the bottom of the stairs. Behind them comes Sophie and Edward, and everybody gets together at the bottom. Charles and Camilla get in their carriage. Everybody lines up. And then, of course, as the carriage pulls off, the two women give their curtsy and Edward bows. Then Charles and Camilla pulled off to go up around the side of the castle. They looked very happy and relaxed. Of course, then it was Catherine and William's turn. They got into their carriage. They were very animatedly talking, and then they went off around the castle, taking the same route that the king and the queen did. Now, after they left, Sophie and Edward got into a carriage with Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, and her husband, Sir Tim Lawrence, and then they took the same route up around the corner. Very nice. Now, after their carriage left, here comes the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, who then followed up behind in their own carriage. I love her outfit. And of course, we can't leave out the fact that Johnny was there. Hi, Johnny. Sorry, guys. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. Anyway, he looks lovely. He always looks lovely. I feel bad for his wife. He's always at these events. She probably never sees the man. Ugh. All right, moving on. You all should know that Catherine has been attending these events since before they were married. And here she is in 2008 with Camilla, and we know who. Now, everybody was like, wait a minute, where's Andrew? Andrew is still in the Order of the Garter. He can't be removed. And he's been a member of that order, I believe, since 2006. And he wore his formal Garter robes at the coronation. The last time he went to the service was in 2019, because in 20 and 21, there was no event due to COVID, okay? But when it was time to return, he did not take part in the procession. It's the public face that he can't have. So was he there behind the scenes? Yes. Was he in the Garter service behind the scenes? Yes. He was there. He just doesn't do the procession. They're saying that they want Andrew under the radar. Fergie needs to be out of the picture because she tends to say unfortunate things. Eugenie just had her second child. She lives half the time in, I believe it's Portugal. You know, Beatrice has a small child. They're young mothers. They both have careers. So that's why you don't see them as working royals. That's why. You know, they're saying that Catherine should be promoted in next because they're saying she, quote unquote, stuck out like a sore thumb. I don't think she did. Maybe she doesn't want to be a member. Anyway, when the whole thing was over, there was a luncheon at the Waterloo Chamber. It's a beautiful area. I'm sure they had a lovely lunch. All right, let's move on to Harry and Meghan. Now, we know Meghan is being rebranded. I don't know how many times you can rebrand yourself in your life. This is what, number 6? First she was a vegan, whatever. Anyway, the new team is the new agent used to be a vegan super agent, apparently. He's one of the world's richest executives, and the ruler of Dubai is supposedly a good friend of his. And they're saying that Meghan is also friends with Victoria Jackson, who is 26 years older than her and was on her Spotify Archetypes. They're saying that he's the adult in the room that'll make sure that her rebranding goes great. Apparently, he has a private island in the Bahamas that they went and hung out there. And yeah, it's another puff piece story about how they're going to, make her a global brand. I don't see that happening myself, but okay. I have to say, I love this tweet from Laird of the Manor. Remember when Spoutable came out, so then somebody else started Doubtable? Well, Laird of the Manor says that if Dior doesn't sign Meghan as their new rep, he's going to start a fashion label that caters to the workerati, vegan, soy, virtue signaling, narcissistic fashionistas. And Meghan is going to be the face and international ambassador, and they're going to call it Deplore instead of Dior. But don't worry, people, because now it's coming out that Meghan is not signing the deal with Dior to become their face. They said no contract was inked, and they said Dior itself came out and said it was surprised and confused where the idea of a deal was first mentioned. Are you kidding? We know who. What did I tell you guys? They float these things to see how it'll go. They said there is no truth to the claims that she will partner with the French fashion house. And a Dior insider said the team was, quote, nonplussed as to how the story even came about. Yes, a deal to work with them is not happening. Yep. I think they floated the thought, and I think they hoped that Dior would latch on, but no, it didn't happen. Yeah. All right, we're coming in towards the end. Somebody put up this article saying that Meghan Markle was the most popular member of the royal family by a new report. Are you guys ready? The report does not say who's the most popular. The report says who was the most searched member, not the most popular. Ooh, that's misinformation. That's not allowed. All right, rolling into the end. This picture was sent to me by one of my subscribers. It came from Evans E's Twitter page. But I do love it. Look at the look on William's face as he's looking up at these people. Let me zoom in just a little closer. Yep. All right. All right, you guys, I was laying on the couch. I was relaxing. I had the blanket over my legs, and I woke up from my nap and I felt something next to my leg. So, of course, you know me. I grabbed the camera. Look what I found. All right, you guys, I want to know what you think about all of this. Don't forget to go into the description box and find the link for the VPN service. You know how important that is. Also, double check in the description box where you'll find that link, and you'll see the link to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email. If you've already hit the subscribe button, double check, make sure you're still subscribed. And if you haven't hit that button, go ahead and hit that button. For those of you who've donated money to my coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.